The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, other producers, or sponsors.
Well, the Duke Wallace didn't get herself ejected in the state final for some dumb stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to say I dreaded showing up to this football game on Friday night, but
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Mike, if you want to talk, you have to talk into the microphone. There we go. Mic to mic.
I'm lost.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Bird's Eye View here on Pittsfield Community Radio, 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield 88.1 WSBR lead. Jesse here in the booth. Mike late. We're gonna make fun of it. We're gonna make fun of him for that when he gets here. Child or no child. But you can look forward to that in the myriad futures when he eventually gets to the studio at a unknown time. I can't say unknown place because we know exactly where he'll be, but he's just not here yet. It's been raining, but it's finally nice out, folks. Spring started and then it was 35 degrees and I had to cover a softball game. It was miserable. But we have managed to get some games in the last few days in spite of the rain, which has been really nice because when it does thunderstorm and it does pour, then everybody's schedules get incredibly backed up, and it makes the teams difficult because they have to play so many games in a row. It makes our job much harder because we have to cover so many games in a row, where you have to decide between so many games, many of them which could be good, and originally they're all nice and spaced out. And now they're all clumped up. But heavy track day yesterday. Taconics and Pittsfield's brand new track at Taconic is really, really nice. I was there yesterday, and it was a good vibe. Taconic, Kona, Lennox all out of meet. Taconic boys beat Lennox, lost close to Wacona, and then Lennox girls swept. And just a lot of spectators. Was really hot, really sunny. And it just seemed like everyone was enjoying it. You know, Ben Harwood of Lennox, who's one of their best distance runners, who set the county record this season for time in the mile. And he was like, I really like the track. It might be my favorite. It's really springy. You know, it's all brand new, and it gives Taconic and PHS a home. I imagine it'll help them keep building their programs, because all of a sudden now you have a place to call your own. You have a home court advantage, so to speak. And it's not like you're practicing in the gym or you're practicing in a parking lot. Like, you have an actual nice real track to practice at, and that's really important. So very, very cool. Glad that the city was able to finally get it done. And I just saw Mike get here, child in tow. Load up your jokes. We will be making fun of him when he eventually gets inside this room. There he is. Look at him. Late, holding a stuffed animal. This is professionalism at its finest, folks. That's what we thought. Oh, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to show up late to this as if he hasn't done it a million times. This is your public flagellation. I'll turn on your microphone.
Thank you.
But I was before I was rudely interrupted by your lateness.
I'm sure it was thrilling.
I was explaining that the new track at Taconic was just a very good vibe yesterday, and it seemed like everyone really liked it. Ben Harwood said that he loved it, who's the best long-distance runner for Lennox, one of the best in the county. And there were spectators all over. I got a nice picture of that online. And it just seemed, it's cool. Just given that, those two programs can hopefully build themselves, keep building themselves, just having a place, a home court to call their own, and not having to practice in a parking lot or in a gym. And you can say, hey, this is ours. We can train out here. And I think that's a big thing because, if you're a basketball player, you don't want to have to practice not in your own gym, and like your home game is at a different school. That stinks. And if you're I don't know, a soccer player, like you have to play on somebody else's field, that stinks. And so now you have your own track, you have your own home meets. That's just it means a little bit. It means something.
Sure. Yeah. It was all last summer was more the city, a city the size of Pittsfield should have a a workable track just for the public to be able to use. And we did all that while it was being built last summer. It got, I think, delayed slightly, but got finished unfortunately like right at the end of spring season. So there were some really high level athletes that were not able to use it. But
now they are.
Yeah, it's I guess been a long time. It's 3 years that Pittsfield and Taconic haven't had, or at least 2 seasons that they haven't had a home meet. So now they both get that. It's good for the county, like you said. Lennox doesn't have one on campus, so this is arguably closer. It wouldn't be an argument. You could look at maps. I don't know. Is Taconic High School closer to Lennox than Monument Mountain is? It very well might be, or
I think
a lot of Lennox kids probably do live in Pittsfield.
Yeah,
the dirty secret of school choice and whatnot.
No, it's not a secret. 40% of Lennox isn't from Lennox, and about 25% of Lennox is from Pittsfield. So yeah.
So
heck of a lot easier to run at Taconic.
It's big for a lot of kids. It's big for the summer, and yeah, it certainly helps things move along. As these teams are pretty big in numbers. Track is one of the sports that seems to be doing just fine with
numbers.
Yeah, numbers, having enough kids to field teams and everything. So yeah, that 8-lane straightaway gets kids going.
Are you eating the tripod of a fan?
That's not
man?
why I brought it, but yeah, it'll do.
It'll do.
This is his new outfit. I came downstairs. He was. We were ready to go, and he had...
so he was ready, you weren't?
No, well, we were both ready. I came downstairs, and he had a water bottle and was inhaling so much water that it was spilling out of his mouth constantly and wouldn't stop. So then his outfit was soaked, so we had to do a last-minute change. And then I was like, yeah, we're not going to make it great for 10.
On Wednesday. No, yesterday was Wednesday. On Tuesday, did you get the free Ben & Jerry's?
We did.
I unfortunately, because I
missed out. Free cone day.
I should have gone before going to tennis, and then I went after tennis. So that's gonna be a nice treat. And the line went out of the door. It went past the little seating area next to it. It went around the seating area and down.
Okay.
It's like, that's a 40-minute wait. I can't do this.
It was still nice out at that point. I take it.
It was still nice out. I'm like, I just don't have the time. So I went to Big Y and I got a thing of Ben & Jerry's and some Italian ices to put in my freezer.
You paid for Ben & Jerry's on.
I wanted Ben & Jerry's, dang it.
I get it. It
although
works.
To add insult to injury,
credit to
I
Ben
guess,
and Jerry, or whichever one is still there.
To add insult to injury, I guess like at tennis, I must have sat in gum. So now I have like a little bit of chewing gum still stuck on my seat in my car, and I have tissues over it. So that like, how do I get? So I have my bench scraper in my car. I'm like trying to. I don't know if it's better to get the gum dry or to get it like soaked to try and get it out.
I don't know.
Yeah, so trying to scrape it off.
Yeah.
But
we went when it was pouring rain, so that's the line wasn't long.
Yes,
we went
I imagine.
around a little after 7.
If I went before tennis, it probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
And I had to wait for tennis anyway. Pittsfield and Lee. Pittsfield has 1 boy and like 5 girls. Although I think one was missing, so they might have 6 girls. And then Lee has something like 15 boys and 2 girls. So they had a co-ed meet where boy from Lee, boy from Pittsfield played, boy from Lee, girl from Pittsfield played. That happened twice. And then you had Lee did a mixed doubles, 1 boy, 1 girl, and then Pittsfield did a girls doubles, 2 girls that played. So it was a very interesting meet. Oh no, they had one more. Pittsfield had one more girl versus boy match against Lee. So it was an interesting meet, but they were just trying to get something done. New Pittsfield coach Sherry Butler is, she wasn't expecting to be the coach of the team, and then it was basically like, if you're not the coach, there's not going to be a team. So she's been the coach for something like 12 days now.
Right.
But yeah, they've just been working, and most of the players are what she's, she said most of these kids haven't even touched a racket before, and you can kind of tell. But they're, they're making progress. She said that we're gaining kids as the season has gone on, so hopefully that they can keep it going, because that is a sport that is struggling to find numbers in Berkshire County.
Yeah, having a league girls team is a bizarre thing for me, just having been here for about 10 years now. Because the league girls were just kind of churning out these Western Mass Championship teams for a stretch there, and had a decent enough rivalry with Lennox the last few years, though Lennox has certainly taken over the mantle. But yeah, not having enough kids there. Monument struggles. I guess Greylock and Mount Everett are the only ones that are fine. Lennox, I think, is still fine on both boys and girls. They have enough kids.
Is Mount Everett fine?
As far as I know, they seem to be playing matches.
In that sense, sure. I thought you meant like Western Mass Contender. They're not like that, but
no, just having enough kids to field two teams. To field a full boys and girls team, you need 7 kids. Yeah, 7 kids, right?
14 kids total.
Yeah, so it's a tough look.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see what to discuss. Neither Mike nor I had much sleep last night because we were up late recording a podcast after deadline.
I went home and then I couldn't sleep, so I did update the honor roll from yesterday's track and field meets, which were some like we talked about last night. Just some kids are getting cooking now. You said we were 3 weeks into the season. I was like, that cannot be right. And I think we technically are. I think track is maybe 2 weeks in, but the whatever we got that first week for games was, I think, sporadic. But we're starting to see some numbers and times that are more akin to like late in the season, kids angling for flirting with the state qualifiers. A lot of throwers are kind of already doing it, but I think track's gonna, like, the running events take a little bit of time to kind of figure out the pace and lower yourself underneath it. So we're waiting to see, but Greylock boys and girls appear again to be kind of in line here to defend their titles. Greylock
Pittsfield boys, those seem like they could be legit.
Yeah, Greylock boys beat Pittsfield by 4 points last night. It came down to Willa Patsos' triple jump. He places second. If he places third, it's an outright tie. If he doesn't place at all, Pittsfield wins it. And he finishes second to Sam C.D. Touré. Seemed like a friendly enough competition in that they had a jersey swap afterwards. Despite, like Pittsfield, a lot of wind goes out of the Pittsfield sails when they're like, okay, like we won the event, but we lost the meet. But they gave Greylock as good of a test as Greylock has had in 7 years pre-COVID. I want to say they've been undefeated since COVID. I was looking back and saw in 2018 Pittsfield and Greylock were both undefeated. Pittsfield beat Greylock in a meet at Hoosick Valley, and went on to their own undefeated season. So it may have been since then that Greylock boys have been, because they've won seven Western Mass titles in a row. So it'll remain to be seen. Greylock was missing Kofi Roberts, Nolan Stubner, a couple of other guys who you would figure would weigh in, but given that they still won the 100-200, you kind of are able to take whatever Kofi was able to do. Maybe he adds a point or two here or there, but since they won those two events that he would typically be their main competitor in, this could, and in a bigger meet, there's a lot more points to get, a lot of different kinds of points you can get, but that could play more into Greylock's depth than Pittsfield's. Pittsfield does have some guys though that can go out and win. Like I was thinking this the other, like I was like, does Greylock have a surefire Western Mass individual champion? And I'm like, I don't know, and that's weird to say because the past 3, 4, 5 years they've had, you could say 4 or 5 favorites. Pittsfield, I think, probably has 2 or 3 guys who should
Cohen's
be seeded
Sam
1 or 2.
Teray.
Cohen, maybe, because it's all dependent on whatever Pacheco runs.
Although, to be fair, it's also coming off
for
this
a top
fall
3
season,
spot.
Pacheco has dropped in the...
Yeah, he hasn't run much.
well, also just he didn't have a great fall.
Yes, he also... Well, yeah, he certainly didn't have the best
after
fall.
his junior year where he won like every title.
Yes.
And then he was fine.
He placed like 9th in states for cross country after winning it his junior year, but he is coming off as as a junior won the state title in both 2 mile and 1 mile. But yeah, Sam Teray should be up there among the Western Mass champion contenders for the jumps. Pittsfield has some solid throwers. They didn't have their best days yesterday. That just kind of allowed Greylock to sneak in there.
Ali Badolo, Aiden Alabozic.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if Greylock has the top level winners that are going to get enough points to make it a no doubt Western Mass title. So it very well could come down to another deep math equation.
Yeah, I mean, in Greylock fashion, they have the depth, and will that carry them? We're going to take a little break, and then we are going to come back and talk a little baseball, a little softball. So we will let Hankus stick his fingers in some outlets, and we will be back with you shortly.
PCTV Select is a great way to watch local content without having a cable subscription. You can keep up with the latest of what's going on in your community from anywhere in the world, and it's available for free right now. Watch live events in full HD on your TV, on your computer, or on the go with your mobile device. Or watch our large library of on-demand video programs anytime that's convenient for you. No more waiting until it's on TV. Did we mention it's free? PCTV Select is everywhere you need to be.
Hi, this is Sean Sayre, Executive Director of PCTV. When Taconic High School was demolished, we could have lost this radio station. Instead, PCTV stepped in, built a new studio and transmitter, and gave the station new life. And now it's time to pay that back. Support this station today. Go to WTBR-FM.com and click the donate button. You won't be sorry. Pittsfield Community Radio thanks you for your support.
Welcome back, folks. Bird's Eye View, Jesse and Mike here. Mike, not late for the second half of the show.
I thought about it.
We're going to give him a round of applause for that one.
Mentally and physically.
So, what's up, Hankus? Is that an orange for me? No? You going to nod on a little more? You can nod on a little more. That's fine. So... let's talk about some softball first. Mike, because you were late. Yeah, no, there is no power to this building. They're on a generator right now. So that is why flickered. Things flickered. If we do disappear off the air, that's why, folks.
I heard our presses went out last night or something.
Yeah, we just got an email this morning about AMV sections. So I don't know. Up there, up there is what's keeping us on air. So today we really can't have you playing with it just because, things are, anyway, Hoosick Valley came into the season thinking that they'd be the best softball team in Berkshire County, and they are proving it. 4-0 on the season. Their offense has been electric. They have put up big runs against Pittsfield, against Kona, against Taconic. They had a 6-2 win over Lennox, and that was definitely a bit of a blood game. Even though Hoosick got Lennox in the playoffs last year, Lennox had won a few in a row against Hoosick, and you could tell the Hurricanes really did want that game, and they were able to just put across the big runs when they needed to, and their defense played really, really well, gave up just 5 hits. Lennox coach Jamie Pyers said, you can't win against Hoosick with 5 hits, and she's right. And the emergence of Ella Basalian at second base has been she has maybe been their best defender this year, her or Izzy Tart at third, who's also made some spectacular catches. But yeah, Basalian just is making every play. She's making double plays, getting every ground ball, diving for stuff. And then she has really come on as a bat. And 1 through 9, they can really, really hit. And yeah, they just look like they should... I don't know if they'll go undefeated in Suburban West play because it's a Berkshire League, and that's just really, really difficult when everyone knows everyone. Wacona's a very well-coached team, and I could see them getting Huzik on the comeback. Huzik won 15-11 at Russell Field, so at Pine Grove Park, maybe it's a little different story.
That came under the lights.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been an under the lights game at Pine Grove yet, which makes sense. They
very cold.
Yeah, they usually say that for like May, late April or May. But yeah, and if Lennox is really on, they might be able to get Huzik. But they could easily be 8-2, if not 10-0 in league play. And yeah, you should be looking at like they should be a Class D contender. They should be potentially a top 4 seed in the state. And yeah, it's just this. They very much seem like an offensive juggernaut, and when their defense is doing its part, like if you can't hit with them, you're in trouble.
Yeah. You mentioned this again. You mentioned last night. We're 3 weeks in. Do we get rankings soon?
I checked the MIA website the other day, and I didn't see it. Like usually, there's a pop-up notification, like
when
it's
it's
out.
Coming.
Yeah, you can check now, but it's. I would imagine it might be next week.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if Eastern Mass is a little ahead of Western Mass just in games. That being said, I feel like just given the rain and all that kind of stuff. At a certain point, everyone's just like, well, we got to delay it a little bit, just because they want to wait till a decent amount of games are out. I mean, like I said, who's played 4 games? Like, what's the point in doing power?
That's true, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so Wacona's probably the second best team in the county right now. They have Marley Arnold seems like their starting pitcher. They had Harper Key, who was a solid pitcher as well, and also played right field. And then she got hurt against Tuzik, so I'm not sure if she's back yet. Julie McComish, who's a freshman, they were DHing her, and I've been told that she certainly has some talent as a pitcher, and they're looking for a chance to break her in slowly. You don't want to give her first game against Tuzik where she gives up 15 hits and kills the confidence. But now that Harper Key is hurt, maybe she'll get more time somewhere. So we'll see what happens there. But Wacona, the top of Wacona's order is very, very good. This is where I look at Wacona and Lennox. Top of their order is really, really good. The back of the order is very streaky. And so when they're on, they can really hit with everybody. And but it's very momentum driven. Like they really, so it's hard. It's more difficult for them because the first 4 or 5 batters really, really good. After that, you can get them. And both of them have some good players in the field. They're just also both outfielders susceptible of making mistakes, making errors, and that's where they can struggle at times. Lennox's infield has been like completely rearranged just because of their pitching and catching situation. They got multiple catchers for the multiple pitchers, and that just can throw things off. Wacona has some Madison McCarthy's in center field, and she's very good, and she's a vet. She's a senior, but I think left and right are both underclassmen. And Sammy Cayley is at shortstop. She's really good. But you also have I think a sophomore at second base. So yeah, it's just there's a couple of potential errors every game, and that's just what you gotta have to deal with. But that being said, they have solid pitching and they have good hitting, and they could very well be factors. Lennox certainly in Class C now. The Greenfield is rebuilding. Lennox should have a room to maneuver here in Class C. Unfortunately for Wacona, Hampshire exists. So that's kind of been their issue for a long time, right?
Yeah, that was everyone's issue. Is that these Valley teams had these stellar ace pitchers.
You had so much snot coming out of your nose, bud. It's kind of impressive.
Trying to lock us in, I think.
That's the wrong key if you're trying to do that. I mean, he
knows that's where it goes. Yes.
I'm surprised you're letting your car keys get that close to the snot. That's
whatever.
Oh, I get the car keys? No. You sure? I'll take them. No? You want them? You can keep them.
All right.
I see. Maybe this is gonna date me, but That's the type of fob that back in the day would have like the little flick, little punch out key. Like you hit the button and it'd pop out.
Yep.
That'd be a great way for a 1.5-year-old to hurt himself.
It's got a little shiv.
Yeah, exactly. Little shiv.
Yeah. No, there is a hide key in it. It's just not a pop out one. So
that's lame.
You'd have to really get your fingernail in there, I think.
No, that's lame. Yeah, our Mazda 5 back in the day had the boom pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I mean, it wasn't sharp on any stretch of the imagination. So
Yeah, most of those are funky ones.
Oh, now you're gonna give it to me?
Oh boy.
Are you sure? Are you positive? No. Every time he gets here, it's like Gollum. I'm rereading Lord of the Rings, so maybe this is fresh in my mind. But it's like Smeagol, Gollum. Like every time, it's like, no, the precious. You got to keep it. So he's like, I'll give it to you, and then he gets up close and he's like, well, hold on a second. Oh, you're gonna hold my hand? No, you're gonna hold the chair. You can't come up here, especially not with that nose. I like the Mickey Mouse shirt, though, kid. Anyway, that's
pretty much softball.
That's pretty much softball.
Yeah.
Baseball. Pittsfield still looks like the best team in the county.
You said they lost last night, though. That they did lose to Central. Is that what Howard said?
That was 2 nights ago. Yeah, they lost to Central. Central, a D1 team, very good team.
Okay, just has not been updated on Arbiter.
Yeah, had not been updated on Arbiter. No.
Okay, so they're 6-2 then, and Central comes. That must be a return game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
May
Central
7th.
moved into their league.
Yeah, so Central May 7th, and then Longmeadow. Longmeadow's not a league game?
It should be a league game.
Looks like they only play them once.
Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe Longmeadow's in the other valley.
But Central will be, Central comes to town May 7th. So that week is Monday, May 4th is the Taconic rematch, and then May 7th is Central. So
right, yeah, that's a huge game.
Big week.
And Central's always a good test because like I said, they're a D1 program, they're a Class A program, and they're very competitive up there. And that's another flash.
That's wild.
And last year I believe it was Taconic beat Central. I don't think Pittsfield played them. But I think Central just was a little younger last year. They were rebuilding, and so they might just be here this year. So yeah, Jay Cody though has been playing really, really well, pitching really well for PHS. Pitched great against Taconic. He pitched well against Central. Just the offense did not do what it needed to do. Maury Freed has woken up with home runs, which is huge for them. I should also mention today, in a few hours, Lorenzo Lewis of Wacona is signing his D1 commitment to, where is it?
Is it Stonehill?
I believe it's you're the track man.
Is it Stonehill? I'm looking up different running things. Let's see, Lorenzo. Stonehill, yeah.
Stonehill,
yep.
Okay.
That was right.
Signing his D1 commitment to Stonehill. So, congratulations to him.
Yeah,
a couple years in a row now that we've had D1's
D1 track.
Peyton Shippey at Wacona 2 years ago.
Amelia Deslitz from Monument is a senior this year. Distance runner, she's going to UMaine. It sounded like, Cooper Calvert was potentially in the mix there. I think it probably helped when he popped the 6'7" jump in his opening match, because that's a college level height. So you're going to start garnering some interest there. Pacheco, I believe, decommitted and then committed to Williams. So he at least plans at the moment on staying locally. But yeah, lots of high level athletes. I do want to mention that Monday is the Boston Marathon, as pretty much everyone should well be aware of who's a New Englander. We have I did the search through of all 34 towns and cities in the Berkshires.
Sure.
Appears that we have 20 residents running in the Boston Marathon. The names to watch, though, are going to be Alex White, who is coming off in the fall. He ran the New York City Marathon, placed 71st, which was pretty wild. Him and Ted Yee, who is not technically a Berkshire County resident, resides now in Boston, where he goes to Northeastern, but Lennox graduate just a few years ago. Those two have been the top Berkshire-related finishers the past few years. Both are registered. Both will run in the first wave of the first heat, of the first corral, et cetera, et cetera. Alex, I guess, is helping out at Wacona track and field now, which is kind of fun because the girls' coach is, or at least for cross country, is Jen Bell. Also signed up to run. She's kind of a crazy marathoner. Did, I think, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, I did a story with her where she had run a marathon in all 50 states.
It's pretty impressive. Alex Wood, I did see yesterday. I didn't know why.
Looks in good shape, I'm sure.
I didn't know why I recognized his face. I'm like, I recognize that guy's face. And then when I heard you and Howard talking about it, I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Various running events he's won.
All right, folks. Yeah. Well, been a track-heavy day. Mike was late. Hopefully the station stays on air.
2 minutes late.
Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day and take it easy.